Archaeology helps us understand what happened on Earth many centuries ago. However, sometimes archaeologists' findings are so enigmatic that it is impossible to give them a definitive explanation. We can only speculate. 1. Saqqara bird. A wooden bird figurine found in the late 1800s in Saqqara is an artifact from ancient Egypt. Experts have yet to determine its exact purpose. Due to its glider-like design, some believe the figurine represents an ancient Egyptian flying machine. Prototypes have been built, but the results were inconclusive. Others are convinced the Saqqara bird is merely a child's toy. 2. Ancient airplanes. Adding to the aviation theme, here is another intricately crafted golden object, this time from Colombia. Is it an animal figurine or a model of a complex flying machine created in 500 AD? Regardless, these trinkets once puzzled the archaeological community. 3. Baghdad batteries are a relatively modern invention. Could they have existed thousands of years ago? The Baghdad battery was found in the late 1930s in Iraq by German archaeologist Wilhelm Koenig. It looks like a clay pot on the outside, but inside there is a rolled copper sheet with an iron rod. This construction can generate electricity, albeit of very low power. For this, a weak vinegar solution is poured into the vessel. The acid reacts with the copper and iron. Wilhelm Koenig suggested that the Baghdad battery, more precisely a galvanic cell filled with acid or alkali, could create an electric voltage of 1 volt. Koenig reviewed exhibits at the National Museum of Iraq. He was surprised by copper silver-plated vases dating back to 2500 BC. Koenig suggested that the silver on the vases was applied using an electrolytic method. 4. Potomsky crater. This limestone curiosity looks man-made. However, it appears to be a natural formation. At least that's the theory. No one can say for sure how the crater formed. There are even hypotheses related to UFOs. The crater is 160 meters in diameter and 40 meters high. It is named after the Patom River and is located in the Bodaibinsky district of the Irkutsk region. The crater is also known as the Eagle's Nest. It is about 500 or more years old and was discovered in 1949 by Soviet geologist Vadim Kolpakov. 5. Nazca geoglyphs. The Nazca geoglyphs are a group of giant geometric and figurative drawings on the Nazca Plateau in Peru, consisting of 143 drawings and 13,000 lines and figures on an enormous canvas. They were created from 500 BC to 500 AD. The geoglyphs depict various animals and plants, and there are many lines, triangles, trapezoids, and spirals. There is still no clear explanation for their purpose. 6. Mystery Hill. In the USA, there is a place called Mystery Hill in New Hampshire. The hill consists of stone caves resembling structures with walls and ceilings. Is it a megalithic platform for star observation built by Native Americans about 4,000 years ago? Or is it a more modern construction? Some believe it should be dated to the 19th century. A sinister fact: this place is located in Salem, the famous city of witches and their persecutors. 7. Face in the rock. This face, or what looks like a face, was accidentally discovered in 2008 on Reeks Island in the Pacific Rim National Park Reserve in Canada, when someone was kayaking past. It is hard to say whether it was created by humans or natural forces. There is a hypothesis that the Tsacha tribe, which has long inhabited the area, could have had a hand in this creation. 8. Göbekli Tepe. Another enigmatic stone landmark is Göbekli Tepe in southeastern Turkey. Its name translates to Potbelly Hill. It was discovered in the 1990s by German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt. It is about 11,000 years old. The pillars are T-shaped, and limestone was used as the material. Stone tools were also found. It appears that the structures were built by hunter-gatherers living in the pre-Neolithic era, and their real purpose is lost in the mists of time. It can be confidently assumed that the construction of Göbekli Tepe was related to religious activities. Klaus Schmidt believed that rituals were conducted there, and recently, evidence has been found that people lived at this site. It is one of the oldest examples of its kind on the planet. 9. Ica stones. The Ica stones became public knowledge thanks to Dr. Javier Cabrera. In the 1930s, a farmer from Peru brought a stone to the doctor with a fish engraved on it, And not just any fish, but a fossil fish. So who created this engraving? According to Dr. Cabrera, it could have been aliens. Or humans appeared earlier than previously thought. Javier Cabrera was a professor of medicine and had no archaeological training, but he left behind the scientific museum, consisting of more than 50,000 Ica stones. They depict ancient inhabitants of the Andes in scenes that contradict modern chronology. Many believe it is a hoax, but there are also proponents of the ancient origin of these artifacts. Small collections of Ica stones are also presented in some other museums in Peru. 10. Guatemalan Stonehead. You have probably heard of the large stone heads of Easter Island, but what about the stonehead from Guatemala in Central America? This face is located in the jungles in the south of the country. Its features do not resemble those of the local inhabitants. We know little about this head, except that it was discovered over 100 years ago. Dr. Oscar Rafael Padilla Lara revealed its existence to the world. There is no evidence that it is indeed an ancient artifact and not a modern creation. 11. Angkor. Another incredible discovery in the jungle was the ancient city of Angkor in Cambodia. It is believed that about 1 million people lived in this pre-industrial center. Water was used as a source of energy. It is well preserved, but this does not make it any less mysterious. We cannot understand why this place turned from a powerful urban center into a desert swallowed by nature. 12. Sangxingdui artifacts. Modern people first heard about them in 1929, and a more detailed story appeared half a century later. The Sangxingdui culture lived in China about 3,000 years ago. They left behind amazing artifacts made of jade, stone, bronze, and other materials. For some reason, the Sangxingdui people abandoned their home, but interestingly, they buried many of their remarkable items in pits. This unusual bird head is just one example of their work. 13. Costa Rican stone spheres. These spherical curiosities of perfect shape and varying sizes are found in the jungles of Central America. The authorities in ancient Costa Rica, or the territory that became Costa Rica, lined these spheres up on the approach to their homes. Some of the spheres reached 2 meters in diameter. The larger the spheres, the higher the authority? Who knows? They are made of gabbro, limestone, and sandstone. Their sizes range from 1 inch in diameter to 2 meters. The largest weigh 16 tons, 14. Hobbits. We are not talking about creatures from Middle-earth, but about an ancient collection of skeletons of a small group of human ancestors called Homo floresiensis. Surprisingly, we did not know about these little people until 2003 when they were discovered on Flores Island in Indonesia. This discovery expanded our understanding of human development, although it did not provide a complete explanation of the phenomenon. It appears that the Hobbits lived on the island about 100,000 years ago. And yes, like Tolkien's Hobbits, they had short legs and large feet. 15. Natural nuclear reactor. To build a nuclear reactor, you do not necessarily need a construction crew. It can happen thanks to Mother Nature. How do we know this? Thanks to archaeology in the ancient world. Discovered in a mine in West Africa, this reactor was created without any human intervention. In fact, it existed even before our species appeared. It is estimated that the reactor in the Oklo mine is about 2 billion years old. How did it work? It started generating thermal energy due to a combination of clay and uranium minerals that were mixed together. Then floodwaters dissolved the minerals and carried them underground into the water supply. Algae absorbed the uranium. Since there was so much uranium-rich algae, it led to the formation of critical mass, and then a chain reaction. Neutrons and atoms did their job, and the rest is history.